Hello, I am Dr. Cinema. I analyze and diagnose movies and explain them to you. So, recently, earlier today, there was a trailer that was released for the 2018 film Tomb Raider, and it was only officially released on Instagram, the director's Instagram. So, I decided to record it on my phone and upload it to my YouTube channel so it'll be easier for people to access. Unfortunately, the studio wasn't quite too keen on that, so they blocked it. I'm not in any other legal trouble, but they just blocked it, so now it's not no longer part of my channel. Which I think is still kind of weird. Like, why would you release the official trailer only on Instagram? Why would the hell would you do that? But I, but I just wanted to let you know about that. But that's not the main thing that we're going to talk about in this video. Now, as you probably know, my more recent videos were focusing on the movies such as the original Universal monster movies such as Dracula, Frankenstein, and Bride of Frankenstein. But today I want to talk about a little bit more about the Dark Universe, more specifically theories about how it's going to play out. And I've got 6 theories I want to discuss with you briefly, and hopefully you can lend some thoughts of your own. So the first of the 6 theories I want to talk about is relates to Dracula Untold. Now, as you know, Dracula Untold, which was released in 2014, was supposed to be launchpad for the universe. However, despite it actually not being that bad of a movie and it being a pretty big commercial success, they for some reason decided not to go with that. Instead of the first official entry of the Stark universe was going to be the 2017 film The Mummy, even though it did worse critically and commercially. Commercially, lost over $90 million. So I don't know why the hell you wouldn't just stick with Dracula Untold as the first entry. But since The Mummy 2017 has been called the official first entry of Dark Universe, that's what they're doing. This theory is that, well, this is actually my personal theory, that Dracula Untold is still technically canon. I mean, let's think about this for a little bit. They said that Dracula is still a key player in the Dark Universe, even though there are no immediate plans to make another Dracula film. And considering that Dracula Untold is sort of like a different like origin story of Dracula, and that movie did end with him sort of like a couple scenes with him like in the modern day, it is still very possible that they can have this still be a part of the Dark Universe canon if they want to. But of course, time will tell this is actually true, but this won't really be the first time a studio has like hidden something to be kept as a surprise for later down the road. But my personal theory is that Dracula Untold, unless proven otherwise, is still canon. Now let's get into the second theory. Now, like I said earlier, The Mummy 2017 wasn't really that big of a critical or commercial success. And that really hurts because a lot of people were still fans of the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies. The first one released in 1999 and then a few more after that. Well, there is an Easter egg nod in the Mummy 2017 film that could actually spell good news for the Brendan Fraser fans. So, in the 2017 film, there's a scene where Mr. Hyde and Tom Cruise's character Nick Morton are getting into a little fight, and then Jenny Helsing, the archaeologist, interferes and hits Mr. Hyde with a yellow gold book. And if you look at that book close enough, you realize that's not just any book. That's the book of Amun Ra. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. But anyway, the Book of Amun Ra, if you remember, was a major part of the original Brendan Fraser Mummy movie. Now, unfortunately, the book was lost in one of the pyramid tombs, but the keyword is lost, not destroyed, lost. And considering that the events of those films took place in the 1920s, that could mean that those events could trigger sort of like a beginning, sort of like the beginning of Prodigium, which is featured in the 2017 Mummy movie, and it helps that the 2017 Mummy movie takes place in modern day, as opposed to 1920s like the Brendan Fraser films. So the events of those films could have initiated the beginning of Prodigium. And geographically, it also works because Imhotep was in like the Egypt area, while Ament of the 2017 film was from like the Iraq area. So this and the people who made the Mummy movie said that if you want to, you can believe that the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies are canon because they like to have nods and like acknowledge like movies of other existence that because they are well made and they are loved by fans. So it looks like it's very possible that these movies are still canon in Dark Universe. Which does really bring into question what the whole deal is the first official entry thing, but never mind that. Let's get on to the third and fourth theories, which are connected in a way. Now, the third theory is that Tom Cruise's character, Nick Morton, will be a Van Helsing type of hero. Now, I say type of hero because obviously Nick Morton is not Van Helsing because of names and like nationalities and such. But he can play like a Van Helsing type of hero in Dark Universe, a guy possessed by a Egyptian god of death trying to figure out how to get rid of his powers. And this could work in some ways. But from what I hear, there are still plans to do a Van Helsing movie, even though there are no like official plans. But it has been rumored for a long time that they are making a Van Helsing movie. So even though it looks like Nick Morton will come back in another installment, I'm not really sure he's going to film the same role as Van Helsing has done in the past. But this does lead to the fourth theory. Jenny Helsing, the female archaeologist, is a descendant of Van Helsing. Now, hear me out. Now, Van Helsing of the Dracula lore, his full name is Abraham Van Helsing, Van Helsing being the middle and last name. And this theory obviously states that Jenny Helsing is, in one way or another, a descendant of Abraham Van Helsing and will sort of serve as the Van Helsing hero of Dark Universe. Now, this can actually work fairly well because there have been a couple of like other media stories and like comics and such where Van Helsing did have a daughter who did take on the same role as her father did before her. And right now there's even a popular TV show on Sci-Fi called Van Helsing where the main character Vanessa is a great-great-great-granddaughter of Abraham Van Helsing. So this can actually work. But of course there is the whole issue of like she didn't really play a big role in the 2017 Mummy movie. So like that, I guess that can like stump the theory a little bit. But there's still a chance that can work. But I guess we just have to wait and see. Chances are we're probably just going to get the regular Abraham Van Helsing. Now, the fifth theory. The upcoming Invisible Man, starring Johnny Depp, isn't actually the original Invisible Man, but a descendant. Now, this goes back to one of the earlier theories of the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies being canon, and how the creators of the Mummy movie said that they want to acknowledge the existence of previous movies because they are loved by fans and they have great stories to tell. Now, they could take a similar approach with this Invisible Man remake, but instead of having Johnny Depp play the Griffin, the original Invisible Man, they can have him be as a descendant of the Invisible Man, where the condition of being invisible is a hereditary condition. Now, of course, this can actually work pretty well. I mean, I can totally see that. I mean, it makes sense, especially with Johnny Depp as the main role. I mean, why would you have someone like Johnny Depp being completely invisible for the entire time? It would probably make more sense money-wise to have Johnny Depp have like a hereditary condition which he can sort of control so there will be more screen time for him. That makes sense from a studio perspective. But there's also the chance that for some reason that they're just going to do a complete remake where Johnny Depp is only on screen for like the first couple minutes when he gets into that scientific accident. But if they're going where I think they're going, hopefully it's a descendant with a hereditary condition, because I think that story can really work. Now, the final theory in regards to Dark Universe, the bride of Frankenstein will try to murder Frankenstein. Now, this theory can actually has a couple of different meanings. But first, let's talk about Bride of Frankenstein. The next official film that's slated to release is Bride of Frankenstein in early 2019. I think even in February 2019 to be specific. And they got the Beauty and Beast director making the movie and a screenwriter and a couple of the creators of this upcoming reboot have talked about how the original Bride of Frankenstein was such a great movie, but it was also strange of how the bride was only on screen for the last like 5 or 10 minutes, but even then she still had a certain mystery around her that made her iconic. And they have this, and the makers that are describing film as a sort of liberation story, and how it'd be interesting to see, especially in modern day, the whole like female being made only to serve man kind of idea. Now I think it'll be very interesting to see not only the Bride of Frankenstein being in the majority of her own movie, but for her to end up either killing Dr. Frankenstein who created her for just to serve as a mate, or she ends up killing Frankenstein's monster, who if you remember in the original 1935 movie, like pretty much rejected Frankenstein the monster. So perhaps there'll be like a little follow through of the bride in the reboot trying to like destroy the monster and even try to kill the doctor himself, which I think I think that's the kind of direction this reboot is going for anyway. But those are the 6 main theories that are floating around regarding the Dark Universe. And like I said in a previous video, let's give Dark Universe a chance. There's a lot of great potential that I think will benefit in the long run of things. But that's pretty much all I have today. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Dr. Cinema. See you next time.